Cody Waters, and I'm a ninth grader here at Francis Scott Key. I would like to thank the staff for allowing me to speak to you about my autism. April is Autism Awareness Month, and that makes it a good time to try to explain to the students and staff at Key a little about my autism and how it affects me. While most kids with autism may share some traits, everybody with autism is a little bit different. One of the traits I'm not so proud of is getting easily frustrated when I'm not able to understand an assignment. Many of us with autism don't understand things the same way other kids do. It's not that I'm not smart, or because I have a good IQ and I can learn, especially if it's a subject I'm interested in. But it's helpful to explain things to me in the simplest way possible to break down tasks into small instructions. For example, if you rearrange the seating in our class, it's easier just to point into my seat and tell me where to sit, and to tell me to look at the seat and try to figure it out. Once I know where the seat is, you probably won't have problems getting me to sit there.
You're doing great, Cody. Bless you.
Thanks. Most of us with autism are creatures of habit and will do the same thing over and over again. And once we get into a routine, that is one of our endearing quirks. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Sometimes when I am having problems understanding an assignment, I become emotional and angry. Usually my teachers or my aides will give me a chance to leave the classroom and cool off. Sometimes it's very hard to keep my emotions under control, but my parents and doctors have given me some tips to help me cool off. People also misunderstood the tone of my voice sometimes. Sometimes people will think I'm purposely being obnoxious or sarcastic because of the tone of my voice. Sometimes it's hard for people with autism to match the tone of their voice with their emotions. So if you're trying to explain something to me and I snap back at you, I get it. I'm not trying to be obnoxious, just my normal tone of voice sometimes. Of course, a lot of kids with autism have difficulty understanding the emotion of other people's voices too. Sometimes we don't realize when people are being mean and sarcastic. But that doesn't mean I'm not sad when I finally do figure it out when people are being mean to me. I have feelings just like everyone else. It's just a lot harder for me to express them. Finally, I'd just like to say that I like it when people are nice to me. Sometimes I won't show it because lots of people with autism actually like being left alone most of the time. But we still like to have friends and talk about our interests. It's just that sometimes our interests can be kind of narrow, and sometimes that's all we want to talk about. Just ask my family how much I enjoy talking about the mythical creatures in some of my video games. My mom likes to say that I stopped talking for a few years after my autism started, and now sometimes she can't shut me up. Most of the people here at Key have been really nice to me and have done everything they can to help me. For example, Mrs. Wagner went out of her way to get me one of those bow soldiers so it would be easier for me to use archery. I'm really not too enthusiastic about phys ed's class, but that was really a nice thing she did for me. I might not always show my appreciation as much as I should, but it's nice when people are kind to me like that. Thank you again for letting me talk a little about my autism today. Any questions? Yes, Christopher?
You mentioned that sometimes you get frustrated when you're having trouble understanding an assignment or an instruction that a teacher gives you, what do you think what would you like us as students to do in dealing with it? I think sometimes teachers might know, but we don't, so we're kind of taken by surprise. So what do you think we should do?
Personally, I don't really know.
Okay.
Anyone else? I guess that's all then.